Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying massive shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about white people canceling themselves, right? You know, black people, we've been talking, we've been singing, you've been hammering and all that. Yo, and each time you talk, each time you say this, they are always like, you all are making noise. We've heard you all say this. We've heard you all say that. I mean, you all have been hammering it. But I am glad they decided to hammer it against themselves. I love to say it when they wake up to educate themselves and cancel themselves at the same time, right? A white person actually came to say most white people are racist, and most don't realize it, right? Because this person is a racist. However, the same thing goes to black people. And I really have so many questions to ask this person, but then I am going to set that aside because she was actually set straight. I mean, the counseling was on point. And this really took me back to, I remember when I did so many videos about, like, you know, the real history of Black Americans, and like, you know, how emotional I was during those videos, because man, I can't even believe that a particular set of people, a particular race went through all this and still to this very moment going through the same thing. I mean, it is something I don't even want to imagine, and I don't want to go there. Let me roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And straight up, I am rolling the...
So I have a very deep issue with anybody coming in my comment section and calling black people racist. Now, I feel like this is a perception issue and an internalized racism issue. Black people lack the power to be racist. There are not enough black people in power for there to be a power structure of black racism against white people. Our system is set up against black and brown people. It's set up for us. This is where white privilege comes into play. We have white privilege because we're white, because we live in a power structure that is geared towards helping white people, lifting up white people, and absolutely crushing anyone who is not white. The black community has never stopped me from getting a job. There is no mass incarceration of white people. There's no underfunding of the education system of white people, except maybe in poor communities, because our system also loves to punish the poor, which is why they keep black and brown people redlined in the ghettos and underfund their education. Without a proper education, it is very hard to succeed. But also, I saw this clip of Minister Farrakhan. I believe he was on Donahue, for those who are old enough to remember Donahue. And he made such a good point. A white woman has stood up and said that she feels what they fear is violence from the black community. Violence from the vicious truth that Minister Farrakhan was speaking. Violence. And his response to her was, black people don't have a history of being violent to white people. They don't have a history of murdering white people. They don't have a history of genocide. They don't have a history of chattel enslavement. They don't have a history of buck breaking. They don't have a history of mass incarceration of white people. They don't have a history of redlining white people. They don't have a history of doing any of the shit that we did. That's our history. Our history. And we project onto the black community everything that our community has done to them. We call them violent, even though we Have you ever heard the song Strange Fruit? If you have not, please, I can't think of who sings it off the top of my head, and that is a shame. But there is a song called Strange Fruit. If anyone knows the singer, please put it in my comment section, or I'll look it up and I'll put it in. Literally hung black people so much that a woman made a song about how black bodies hanging from trees are strange fruit. We burned their bodies in the middle of the fucking street for nothing more than them being black. Black codes, voter suppression, Jim fucking Crow, deconstruction of Reconstruction, the Tulsa Massacre, Redwood, Axe Handle Saturday. Look up the massacres that took place. I believe it was North Carolina when black people were thriving and they were getting into political positions and they were voting and they were involved. They destroyed that town. White people destroyed that town. White supremacy destroyed it. Anytime black people have tried to get a leg up and become successful, white supremacy has destroyed it to this fucking day. We literally just acknowledged Juneteenth as a federal holiday 2 years ago. Most people didn't know about Juneteenth until 2 years ago. And we are whitewashing their history. We are trying to erase their history, their pain, their struggle, their truth because of what we did. Because our parents and our grandparents don't want us to know the atrocities that they committed. Now all of a sudden white people want to act civil, like we got some sense, like we're not barbaric, like we're not fucking animals. All of a sudden white people just forgot how bad racism was and is. All of a sudden now white people have the fucking caucasity to call black people racist. If the black community, any member of the black community that hates white people, and there are actually a lot fewer than you might think, most of the black community is loving, caring. They will embrace you. They will love you. They do not hate. I've lived in a black community for a couple decades now. I've never received any hate. I've had conversations. I've had people ask me questions. But I've never been beaten up because I was white. I've never been anything worse because I'm white. I've never experienced any form of racism from a black person. But don't you feel like the black community has every right to hate us? Don't you honestly feel, if you look at our history, if you look at what we have done and continue to do you not think that the black community has every fucking right to despise us just based on our history? We want to believe that they're violent, that they're a bunch of gangbangers, that they're criminals and rapists and thugs because of what we see on the news, which is propaganda. But we want to completely bypass our actual fucking history of barbarism, being barbaric, of brutality, of violence, of rape, of genocide. But then when I look at the black community, like, what's your problem? You need to get over it. But if that's the case, then fuck 9/11. Fuck Pearl Harbor. Fuck Memorial Day. Fuck Independence Day. Fuck 1776. Fuck all that shit. If you want black people to get over the atrocities that took place for fucking centuries and still continues to this day, then fuck you and every fucking white holiday and white don't forget bullshit. Fuck all of that. Until black pain, black struggle, black history is recognized, I refuse to recognize any of that other shit because it doesn't fucking matter. Black people cannot be racist. They can be prejudiced if you want to call it that, but in my opinion, they have every fucking right to hate us. And I am shocked that more black people don't hate us than actually do. Because if I'm being honest, there's a big part of me that hates us for what we've done. There's a big part of me that's fucking enraged at us because of what we have done to them. I can't find anything, nothing historically that black people have done to white people that could possibly make me hate them or think that they're violent or animalistic like we are.
So this is all the video, and you know what? I keep saying it. It is not in black history, not anywhere. Violence, not at all. But you know what? You all should, they are always scared of violence, right? Because all they have shown black people has always, it has always been violence, right? And I want them to actually, because to actually be ready for that violence, because eventually it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen, because the table is definitely going to turn. And they always keep being threatened for no reason. I mean, you heard it from her too, not me, because if it's coming from a black person, it's always like this. They've been hammering it, they've been singing it, they've been like, this has always been their anthem. You all don't want to hear it. But I am sure that if it's coming from someone like you, I mean, the colored people to colored people, it's gonna be easy to communicate. At least you understand that. I mean, did all this happen in the history? Of course, they did happen. Are they trying to cover it up? Most definitely. They've been fighting so hard because they said our history is violence. And I am asking, how did what you did to me? I mean, you did something to me, and you are telling me that I am violent. Because that is part of the reason why they keep saying, ban everything about them. Ban them. We don't want to hear anything about them. We don't want to hear about their pain. The pain they caused you. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to teach it. They don't want it to be in any book. Just erase it. Forget about it. But when they're like, when people say in 1717, in these days, during the what is it called? The Tulsa and the rest of it, the water under this thing, something Lake Rainier or something like that, and the rest of it. I mean, I am talking, there are so many recent ones, like when we talk about 30 years, 30 something, we can talk about what happened, that is just 30 something years, because they always like come back to tell you, get over it. Get over what? Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. If I hear you all say get over it, because it's been 30 something years, it hasn't been long. The lane and the shame that happened and the rest of it that I saw, we all were coming to take souvenirs, people's body part as souvenirs. And I saw kids. So at that age, they were already taught how to lane and shame, how to hate a black person. Because I don't see how, man, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I don't want to get emotional. And this is where I am going to end this video. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.